Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. This is Faraz Khan. Jazakumullah khair. Thank you for joining us today as we are getting closer and closer. Some people are into the shopping mode and making sure that they have covered their clothes and food and the details of who's coming and who's not, inshallah, for Eid. And that is beautiful as well. And that is, proper. We do need to have social etiquette. We need to have social awareness of how to deal with one another and do things in a best way. Sometimes when religious people talk and they want to show the priority of religious matters like ibadah, like taking advantage of these good days, in our zeal, in our you know motivation to inspire people, sometimes we do injustice to ourselves by saying that those things are not things that should matter in our lives. I mean, those things do matter and we celebrate. And this is how we show gratitude of to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And so the way Allah has, made this religion and the way Allah has commanded us is that the religion acceptable to Allah, the way or method acceptable to Allah is Islam, right? In As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He mentions to us in particular ayat, in many ayat, lakum dinukum waliyadin, to you is your religion, and to us our way. So this way of ours is dependent on the way the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam has shown us as a role model. Today, as we discuss about Hajj, inshallah, I want to show you some of the examples of righteous people, how they took Hajj, right? And things have to be balanced. I think that's the biggest thing we could walk away from the Hajj, right? So there are stories you would hear and they would inspire you and motivate you. And then there are people who talk about their own experiences, right? And that is also motivational to us. We could take from these stories positive things, or we could take from these stories negative things. Even such a beautiful journey as Hajj, people could also say, oh, so and so is bragging about things, or so and so is showcasing, or so and so is insincere, and we tend to judge sometimes, right? Even though it's such a beautiful experience that people go through. And so we have to ask ourselves, if we if we judge people to not according to the best of deeds, but to the lower standards, then what are we learning? And what are we all about as human beings, right? So we have to treat people and think of others in ways that are at least giving that benefit of the doubt in the best way, or in the best manner. So we have to reflect from that perspective, as you would hear people coming back from Hajj, and you would hear about this term Hajj Dawat and things like that. So we have to reflect from there. Now, one other thing that I'm going to quickly mention, and I know the speakers in the past have mentioned, and the next speaker will be mentioning, is the day of Arafah, fasting on the day of Arafah, especially for people who are not on Hajj. For people who are on Hajj, they're not supposed to fast the day of Arafah, as I understand, because this is part of the worship that we do to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, recognizing the benefits of all of the blessings He has given us, and this opportunity to be able to fast and to be able to show our gratitude to Allah Azza wa Jal, right? So this is what it's all about: gratitude and showcasing shukr. With that, inshallah, last example I want to give you is the story of the person who actually went back and forth, in the building when actually the elevators weren't working. And this person that I would experience, during days of Hajj, hot days, very, very hot and humid in Mecca. And he's carrying bags of people like 5 stories, 10 stories, right, up without the elevator, and he's running back and forth. You see him sweat. You would see him like sleep deprived, but he's working hard. And that was the person who was providing service to people who are hujjaj, people who are the pilgrims. And that is the type of attitude I think we should have in terms of in terms of getting the hasanat, in terms of our zeal for good actions. Whether it's like the days of fasting, whether it's the nights of worship, whether it's any other charity or good work that we could do. That's the zeal. This is a person I saw, and people in the group. We used to have groups of people sitting together. Um, and the group leaders would talk about, like, look at this person who's so inspiring in terms of the work that they would do in service to the other hujjaj. So this is, first-hand experience where you see it and then you make dua for these people. There are other people that you would go for hajj and you will see, or you have seen people who are just welcoming, all smiles, and people who just are really interested in making this hajj experience of yours to be the best experience. And it's not what we give and how much we spend, because a lot of times people talk about those things too, but we need to really remain focused on, because whenever they talk about before Hajj, people talk about how much is the cost of a Hajj package, right? And after Hajj, they talk about how many vacation days are left for them. So those are good things to talk about and you socialize, but I think the focus should remain internal, and that is, how did my Hajj, or how did this year's Hajj, the days that have come, the day of Eid, inshallah, al-Adha, the sacrifice that people would perform, how has it changed me? How has it inspired me? And how am I a role model for other people? And first and foremost, the question we should ask, inshallah, and I'll stop with this, is, am I role model to my family? Am I role model to people in my neighborhood? Am I role model to those people that I work with? So those are a few things that I just want you to reflect upon, inshallah, and make it very simple, make it very easy. There are many ayat, there are many ahadith about Hajj, but I just want to discuss with you how, inshallah, Hajj these days should make us better Muslims. Jazakallah khair. Thank you so much. This is your brother in Islam, Faraz Khan. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.